And I want to welcome everybody to the Lapani Technology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Lapani. Today is our June 19th podcast. This is our first podcast we've done since I believe the 6th. I do apologize for that. We've been busy. As everybody knows that goes in the blog or knows me that listens, obviously Lapani Technology is a business. We run a technology company. We emphasize on security and all that type of stuff, as well as we do technology implementations and all that type of stuff. So I have been very busy. I'm working on a project right now with SCCM 2012. Customer moving over to that from SCCM 2007 and Forefront 2005, and it's been quite a project. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the SCCM 2012. It came out probably about the last April 31st, I believe it came out. May 1st, somewhere in there. Don't quote me on the exact days, but moving client over to that. Kind of want to open the podcast talking about that, the integration features with Forefront. As everybody knows, read my blog, I don't put a huge faith into the Forefront antivirus. With this integrated Forefront, a little bit better reporting. You need less servers. One thing I do like about this is the management point is built, Forefront management point is built right into SCCM, and it kind of makes things a little bit easier, a little bit better to handle, as well as reporting is much better. If anybody worked with that MOM service in SCCM, in Forefront 2005, it was just brutal. You need like your own MOM server, just pretty much for handling of the service. It was pretty brutal. But this new integrated Forefront is much better, cleaner, and installed as part of the client. One of the interesting things that I find very, very nice about SCCM 2012 is the client is much smarter. The clients came a long way. I was actually working on a job with a guy, probably I would say maybe about a month ago. We were talking about the new product, and like I say, he's a big Altiris guy, and he was actually really impressed that SCCM's come a long way. I have not tried the migration piece that's built into it. Apparently you can migrate over your 2007 environment over to your 2012. I'm not so sure if I trust it. I've had some horror stories in the back with a long time ago. If anybody wants to know more about it, I'm not going to go into it too much, but I worked on a Zen system, Novell Zen, and it was just downright brutal trying to move over using a migration tool. I know it's Novell and this is Windows, but still, I've never had much luck with any type of system migration tools as far as system management tools go. So, again, it's one of those things where sometimes you're better off, taking the long road. I know this particular client is managing about 4,000 computers. They have 4 distribution points. One of the really nice things with SCCM 2012 is you're able to actually have management points, which on the old one, on the old SCCM 2007, you're more or less doing like a round robin type of thing with your distribution points, where now you have overlapping distribution points, and you can actually use your sites and your boundaries a little bit better, a little more effectively, especially if you're depending on how you're running routing. So it definitely is a much better product, a lot more features. Look and feel is completely different. Microsoft went with that ribbon look that they've been pushing quite hard for. I've also, ironically, coming up on my plate, have a System Center Operations Manager install coming up. I'll let you guys know how that goes. It's a product that I haven't worked extensively with. I worked with the old 2007 R2 product that they had in place, but I haven't worked with the new product at all. So it'll be kind of neat. Maybe I'll do a podcast just on that itself. Talk about it a little bit depending on how things go with the install. So we'll see. Anybody that's reading my blog know I've ran into some issues with installing the product, but that's expected with any install of a Microsoft product that's fairly new in place. But one of the things that I think is kind of neat, anybody that worked with 2007 knows this. The Microsoft always recommended having your SQL server a separate box than the actual site server and your management point. Whereas as this current product, which is running on this running it on 2008 R2 SQL. I just want to make another note as well. The new the new SQL 2012 is out. So anybody that's interested in that, it is out there. The beta or the trial version's out there. Also, actually, believe it or not, I believe there's actually a 2012 Express actually out there. So check that out. I know 2008 R2, I used the Express version on a couple product installs that I did for a few clients in the past, and it works really well. I like it. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at what version of SQL you want to put on. Like I said, this is running on 2008 R2. It's running pretty solid. It does run the product. SCCM 2012 will run on just regular 2008 SQL, but I don't recommend it. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and you might as well just use R2 if you can. I mean, if the client or yourself have the financial means to, I would recommend it. One of the things that's a little bit different too with working with SCCM, this new version, is Microsoft changed the licensing a little bit, where you actually license going to license it by processor rather than the way they used to do the licensing model. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be rolling out the product to make sure you take the licensing piece into account. Some of the other features that I really like on it is the actual packaging piece of it. A little bit different than the old product. I think it's a lot cleaner, a lot more organized. One of the other things I noticed is you're still running on the WMI. A lot of your old tools still work from SCCM 2007. The right-click tool products and some of the other products that are third-party products that are out there still work on it. So, no, I mean that's good because it's one thing to implement a product. It's another thing not to have the tools to take care of it. So that's definitely a plus on this particular piece. Like I said, one of the other things I noticed is, like I said, on this new version, you run SCCM 2012 on the exact same box that you're running SQL. So you are going to need a pretty beefy box if you're putting this on. Depending on what hardware you're putting it on, this is going to have to be a beefy box. So definitely at least I would say I mean, Microsoft says it'll run 16 gigs of RAM, but it depends on how many clients you're administering. But I would recommend at least 32 gigs of RAM, at least a couple quad core processors. You definitely need a beefy box. I mean, it's touching a lot of stuff. The client push is now built in. It's not like you have to package something. It's actually built into the product, which is really nice. Anybody that worked with it in the past knows that there's always some problems with that. So that's a nice piece. Actually, believe it or not, I was reading through the logs, and the trace 32 is still something that they keep in the product for log reading. So that's a kind of something neat, and definitely SCCM definitely come a long way, especially with their log reading piece. But updates, the same thing as before. Nothing really too fancy with that. Like I said, I'm really happy with the overlapping boundaries and with the sites and really the way you're able to do some things with this particular product. Much better than you could with the old SCCM 2007. So I'm overall happy with it. I'm glad. Good roll. I think it's a little bit cleaner installed, a little smoother installed than the old one. Overall, I think it was a good product, and I'm really happy to be working with it and glad to be implementing it for this customer. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep posting problems as I go, and those of you that read, I know I've been doing some posting on updates, problems I've been having, and as well as some other WSUS syncing. One of the things I noticed on this product that they don't recommend at all with WSUS is wherever you install a CCM, database-wise, you have to keep the databases there. You can't offload them like you used to in the old version. That's a big no-no. If anybody reads my blog, you'll know why and explain it further. Due to the syncing problem. You can try applying the rights, but it hardly ever works. So I would go ahead and definitely wherever you're going to install your databases, that's where they're going to have to stay, because your SQL instance, wherever you install your SQL instances, where databases are going to have to stay. There's not going to be any offloading of databases. It's just not going to happen. It's really messy, and I haven't seen anything but sync problems. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be doing an install anytime soon. Well, since we haven't done a podcast in a while, I figured I'd give you a little update on what I've been doing lately. Been doing a lot of running around and stuff like that. So, like I said, I've been doing SCCM installs and it's pretty good. Been a pretty busy summer, but well, the thing I really want to talk about is the WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference that was going on last week. Definitely some new innovative stuff that's going to be coming out from Apple. I do enjoy Apple products, I really do. I'm pretty happy with hearing that there's a new MacBook line coming out with USB 2 and USB 3 in the same port. And then, the new Mac. I have a MacBook Pro myself, and to hear that they're coming out with a new line of MacBook, they're going to upgrade their existing line, but then they have the next generation MacBook Pro, which is, they're going to probably phase out the old MacBook slowly, but has that Retina display. For me personally, I'm not a huge picture guy, so for me it probably would be a waste. But anybody that's into photography or anything like that Retina display looks really, really nice. It is the number one display. It puts Apple in front of everybody else hardware wise. So that was definitely something that was really cool to see at the WWDC. I definitely enjoyed seeing their hardware. Anybody that was watching the keynote speech from Apple noticed the huge battery pack underneath. I have to say one thing about Apple: they definitely know how to cram a bunch of batteries into the bottom and still give you a lot of space. So kudos to them for that. So overall, I give them credit. They're hardware engineers use every millimeter of space. So kudos for them. You have to get my voice as well. I'm just getting over being sick here. So actually, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do a podcast last week, because I was just ending voice. But definitely did watch the WWDC. One of the things that was really cool was to see Apple still pushing along with a new operating system for the desktop. I know now they're coming out. I use Lion myself, but they're coming out with another version of it called, I think it's Mountain Lion is what it's going to be. I have to look that up. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's going to be Mountain Lion. But anyway, the new version. It seems like they're really, really pushing their cloud, and it's really pushing the syncing. They're definitely pushing notifications. They basically took a lot of the features that people like from the Apple the iOS, and they added them into the OS and added syncing between all the different devices and all that. So I think it's a good move by Apple. Definitely something different that that they're doing. And I know we all know that Microsoft is going to try to follow suit with making one kind of OS look for everything. So Apple created the model, and now a lot of other companies are trying to follow it. Not to get off topic, but I know I did recently just take a quick look at the new Server 2010, and it's pretty impressive. It does look just like what we've seen for Windows 8. And now we see the tablet that Microsoft just rolled out today, so and the phone as well that they've been working on. So I think overall Microsoft's going to stick with this look and feel, and they're going to try to make it go across all platforms, including their Xbox line. So it'll be neat to see what they actually do with that. But back to the Apple. Back to Apple's WWDC, I think overall seeing that they're trying to integrate, especially the Safari. That Safari was really cool, especially seeing that they're building, Facebook and a lot of other social media right into their products. I think right there is just going to show you the power of Facebook and how Facebook's going to be around for a while. I've often said many times they're going to be the next MySpace, but when you have hardware vendors building, your platform into their software, that is just true power of social media right there. So overall, I think that with Apple building Facebook stuff into their software, I think it's going to only ensure the survival of Facebook even longer. Their stocks aren't doing too well, but actually they're up over $30 a share, which is the best it's been in a long time. But all in all, I think with the support of a big company like Apple, I think it just proves that they're going to stay around even longer. But kudos to them. Congratulations to them on that. I'm just impressed with the power they have in the industry for .com. So, but